So hey folks, today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Hillsboro Beach, aka Millionaire's Mile.
So why do you think they call it Millionaire Mile?
Well, it's because basically when you see the homes here, you'll certainly understand. We're the Morris Group. I'm Kev.
And I'm Suze.
And welcome to Living in Fort Lauderdale with Kev and Suze. If this is your first time to our channel, welcome. If you've been here before, well then welcome back. We're local realtors, and as much as we love making these videos, what we really love is helping people with their real estate needs down here in South Florida. Questions you have about buying, questions you have about selling, even if you've got questions about renting, just questions in general.
Leave us a comment below. We'd appreciate that.
Oh, definitely. So here we are in Hillsboro Beach. The uniqueness about this particular area is twofold. Number one, Suze, did you know that this is actually a barrier island?
Actually, I did know that.
Oh, that's good. Some folks didn't. Now, what we mean by that is it's between the Intercoastal Waterway and the Atlantic Ocean. If you go a little bit to the north, you get up to Deerfield Beach. If you head west, you get to Lighthouse Point. South, you go into Pompano Beach. The community of Hillsboro Beach is only about 3.5 miles long, and it's basically a single street. So it's A1A, just a wonderful kind of a neat place to be. It's very, very eclectic group of homes.
Stay tuned. We've got a great video for you today.
Living in Hillsboro Beach, everybody has kind of I don't want to call it an urban feel, but it's kind of a small town feel. With a population of about 2,000 people, it's not very hard to see why. I mean, most folks own their own homes, and they've been here for quite some time, and there are actually a lot of folks who retire down here into the Hillsboro Beach. Hillsboro Beach is basically made up of homes, just the homes. So there's not a whole lot actually on the beach itself, but because of its proximity to Lighthouse Point, and then also with its proximity to Deerfield Beach, and a lot of the places there, and also just being a little bit north of Pompano Beach.
Right, so both of those places offer quite a bit of nightlife, as well as fine dining, casual dining, and restaurants.
So, yeah, so people take a short little drive to go out to eat, go out to enjoy themselves at night, then they come back into kind of the quiet and the solace of living here in Hillsboro Beach.
It's maybe a 5 to 10 minute drive. It's not that far.
Oh, at that. I mean, in some cases you can actually walk.
Right.
Some of the local places to frequent are Baja Cafe, Little Havana.
Papa's Raw Bar.
Oh yeah, my favorite, Dandy Donuts, which actually is more than donuts. Those of you from Jersey, you'll love this. You can actually get your own Jersey pork roll sandwich. And then Pompano Beach, where you have all the great restaurants down here in Pompano, of Oceanic and some of the other ones around there. There's a lot of options that are very, very close. And because it's on its own street, you really don't get lost because you just drive up and down one street. Makes it a little bit easier. Even though it's only about 3.5 miles long, there's actually 3 parks that are here. DeGroff Park and Dan Witt Park.
And there's the Deerfield Beach Front Park.
There's actually a lot of things you can do around here. Another pro for Hillsboro Beach is basically the economy. Now, being a small little area like it is, it's somewhat secluded and somewhat kind of ring-fenced, if you will, but the economy down here is very, very strong.
Many of the homes are gated.
As are many of the condo complexes are also gated. Its value of the home is way up above $800,000, or I should say the median value starts around $800,000 and
goes into the millions.
It goes into the millions, and even the condos, because of the proximity to both the Intercoastal, which is right behind us, and the Atlantic Ocean. The condos start in the mid-5s and go all the way up, and there are condos that actually approach $4 and $5 million also.
That's true. It's a very desirable place.
With a strong economy that comes along with that.
And the views.
One of the things that was kind of neat about property values up here is that they've been pretty much constant. They've basically been going up about 7.5% over the last 10 years. So, which is actually very, very good. I won't say that it's recession proof, but when you buy in an area like Hillsboro Beach, you're buying almost into a lifestyle. So it's a little bit different than living in some of the other areas around here. Also because it's kind of small, so everybody kind of gets to know each other and everything else. So it makes it very, very nice. Now, this is something that's come up recently. We talked a little bit about it when we were up in Coconut Creek. It's the increase in where you can take your dog. Hillsboro Beach actually has a couple of beaches, albeit they're semi-private beaches, but you can actually take your dog out on the beach. Now, most other places, like Pompano Beach or Deerfield Beach, there are areas around the beach that you can take your dog, but they don't really want you taking your dog on the beach.
On the beach, yeah.
Remember the webcam that we saw for Pompano Beach?
Yes.
Hillsboro Beach also has one too. It gives you kind of how the weather is before you even leave the house.
Where's it located?
It's actually up on the beach out there, the Hillsboro Inlet, and it's out near the lighthouse, so you can kind of see a little bit of everything. You see the ocean, you see the lighthouse, and you kind of see the weather and how things are going down there. We talk about the beach a lot. We talked about Deerfield Beach being a blue wave beach, Pompano Beach, how they're doing a lot of stuff to keep the beach clean and stuff like that. But up here, they give it a little different term. They call it beach renourishment. And what that really means is they're going back after storms and everything come through and wash some of the sand away. They're going back out to areas and they're actually dredging out ocean sand to put it back in the beach. And they do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, and most importantly, when they build the beach back up again, it actually helps to keep erosion down.
Right, and it's also for nesting for the turtle.
Exactly. At Hillsboro Beach here, they take it to a whole new level. I mean, they're out there. There are folks out there that are helping to build the sea turtle nest. And don't be surprised at all to see a bunch of little lumps in the sand that are actually sea turtle nests. And there are a lot of folks out here who are keeping an eye on them. And when the turtles hatch, they want to be there to be able to help the little turtles get down to the water.
You've got a very environmentally friendly beach here.
With everything good, there's also some bad. Try as we might, we only found a few cons. One of them was the hurricanes. And we've talked about this before, but hurricane season, when it comes kicking around here, June 1st through basically the end of November, because of its location between the intercoastal and the Atlantic Ocean, hurricanes here become a big issue. If there is an evacuation order for Hillsboro Beach, it's mandatory. If you don't get out, if something happens, if you need to call for services like 911, you need to call for fire services or police services or ambulance services, they're not coming. We've been fortunate that we haven't been hit by many of them, but you need to know that you are susceptible to hurricanes.
Prepare to evacuate the Enterprise.
What is the second con?
Really not much of a con because it's a straight road and it's only 3 miles. Transportation. There's not a whole lot around here other than your car. Now, there are some folks that live in some of the bigger complexes and some of the bigger homes that have those cute little golf carts that have those big wheels on it so they can go out and go four-wheeling on the sand on the beach. And there are a couple little private little shuttles, but basically there's really no public transportation here. You either walk or you ride your bike or you drive your car. To kind of mix in with that, I don't want to call it necessarily traffic related, but because it is a barrier island, there are 3 drawbridges that you need to come over to access the island. Some of them open up every hour on the hour and a half. Another one opens up every hour on the quarter and the 3/4. And then there's another one that opens up almost every 15 minutes during the busy season. You just need to be aware of it when you're trying to get on and off the island. Another con is the cost of living. Now, while we looked at the real estate from the standpoint of its value and be able to maintain its value and how the real estate values are growing as a pro, the cost of living down here, it can be a con. I mean, it's about 23.8 or 24% higher than the national average. Housing being one of the main contributors to it, transportation being another contributor to it, and groceries being also another contributor. Because there's no grocery store directly on the beach, you have to go out somewhere. So we talked about some of the residences here. Nothing beats walking around and kind of seeing it. The Ocean Grand, which is right behind me, beach and the marina. So the beach is on the backside next to the water, to the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, and the marina is here. And what people do, come down here, live here, and they can moor their boats here in the marina. So it's all kind of part of an all-inclusive type of deal. Now, not every place has places like that, but Ocean Grand is one of them. And it's a very, very nice, beautiful luxury location. Places don't come up here very frequently, and when they do, they're snapped up pretty quick. And now you can kind of see what I mean about transportation. If you're not driving, you're walking, or like the folks that just came by riding their bicycles. One of the things that you'll find here is that in order to kind of maximize the amenities here is that a lot of places, kind of like the Ocean Hillsboro, which is right across the street from us here, they too have a little bit of a parking area and a little bit of a marina behind here. People park their jet skis and stuff like that there. It's a very, very nice, very, very calm area with the view of the Hillsboro Lighthouse and the view of the inlet and kind of the pristine beaches. It's actually one of the best places to relax and retire to down here in South Florida. And walking around, I can certainly see why. Just a little bit more of our walking tour to show you some of the single-family homes here. They are very, very nice. It's no wonder they call this Millionaire Mile. The homes are beautiful. Everything is very well maintained, very well kept. One of the really interesting things to me, in addition to the lighthouse at Hillsboro Inlet, was basically the story of the Barefoot Mailman. Up until about 1885, the U.S. mail only went down as far as West Palm Beach down here. So to basically bring mail to settlements further south, i.e. coming down into Broward County and going as far south as Miami, Miami-Dade County, a father and son team kind of came up with an idea that basically became what they call the Barefoot Mailman route. And they went to the U.S. Postal Service and basically proposed it to them. It would go from Palm Beach to what is now Miami. And it was 68 miles each way, and 28 miles of it involved crossing water. And the round trip took 6 days, Monday through Saturday, every week of the year. Granted, everybody wasn't sending things as frequently as they do now, and of course, back then, we didn't have email. Still, it was a very, very difficult and very arduous trail. And it really only existed for about 7 or 8 years. 15 men actually were recruited or volunteered disappeared, depending upon how you look at it, to be Barefoot Mailman. And the third Barefoot Mailman was a guy by the name of James Hamilton. He disappeared at the Hillsboro Inlet just a few months after he started doing this. In 1887, he just kind of disappeared. His possessions and his clothes and everything else were found at the inlet, but it was kind of presumed that maybe he drowned while going over. The statue behind me is kind of a commemorative to him and the other Barefoot Mailman that came before him and after him. Of course, being down here in South Florida and being on the Atlantic and everything else, one of the greatest things to do down here is fishing. Right here at Hillsboro Inlet, you have deep sea fishing to go out. You can go out and fish to your heart's content. Hopefully, you've enjoyed the video and it was informative and it was interesting and hopefully a little bit of amusing here and there. So until next time, thanks and we'll see you.